Welcome back, dear listeners, to the Selfish Jerk Manifesto. Today, we dive into a topic that might just save your sanity, or what's left of it. We're talking about emotional vampires, those delightful individuals who suck the energy right out of you, leaving you a lifeless husk while they flutter off, fully charged and ready to find their next victim. Sound familiar? Of course it does. We've all encountered one or 10 in our lives. So, how do we survive these soul-sucking fiends without needing a week of Netflix and ice cream therapy afterward? Well, buckle up, because I'm about to give you a crash course in emotional self-defense. Grab your garlic, people. It's time to learn how to keep these vampires at bay. Before we jump into the how, let's start with the why. Why do emotional vampires exist? Nietzsche has the answer. He famously said, "When you gaze long enough into the abyss gazes back." Sound dark? That's because it is. Emotional vampires are basically walking abysses. The longer you hang out with them, the more they drag you into their empty, bottomless pit of negativity and drama. Here's the thing. They crave your energy because they can't generate their own. They need your attention, your emotional bandwidth, and your empathy to survive. So every time you offer a shoulder to cry on or a listening ear, they feast. But don't worry. By the end of this episode, you'll be armed with the tools to stop feeding the monsters. Let's break it down. How do you spot an emotional vampire before it's too late? Much like with real vampires, the signs are subtle at first, but with practice, you'll recognize them from a mile away. Here's your crash course. The professional victim. This is the person whose life is always a disaster. If they're not in crisis, they're in emergency mode. Nothing ever goes right for them, and somehow, it's never their fault. Their job? Awful. Their relationships? Tragic. Their luck? Non-existent. Your role? To be their free therapist, of course. The chronic complainer. You know this one. No matter how good their day is, they'll find the cloud in the silver lining. Did they get a raise? Yeah, but now I have more taxes to pay. Got a promotion? Sure, but it means more responsibility. They thrive on negativity, and they need you to validate it. The drama addict. Emotional vampires love chaos. They thrive in it. If there isn't a fire, they'll light one just to watch it burn. And guess what? They'll drag you into the flames, too. These are the people who live for gossip, conflict, and anything that causes emotional upheaval. If you recognize these traits, congratulations! You've just spotted a vampire. Now, how do you deal with them? So, what's the garlic equivalent for emotional vampires? How do you keep them from draining you dry? Here's your practical toolkit. Limit your exposure. Just like you wouldn't binge watch a season of The Real Housewives without feeling your IQ drop, you shouldn't expose yourself to an emotional vampire for extended periods. Limit your time with them. The shorter, the better. Set boundaries like a boss. Emotional vampires hate boundaries. They'll test yours over and over. So, what do? Set firm, unapologetic boundaries. Be clear that you're not available for endless emotional unloading. Sorry, I'm not the right person to help with this. Boom. Boundary established. Master the art of deflection. If they start ranting about their latest life catastrophe, politely change the subject. Wow, that sounds tough. Have you heard about that new restaurant downtown? You're not obligated to entertain their drama. Shift the focus to something neutral. Be unavailable. It's amazing how quickly vampires retreat when they realize they can't get their fix. If they call, let it go to voicemail. If they text, take your time to respond, or don't respond at all. You're busy protecting your peace. Don't engage. Vampires thrive on emotional reactions. The more you react, the more they drain you. So, practice emotional neutrality. Give them nothing to feed on. If they complain, nod. If they vent, smile. The less you give, the quicker they'll move on. Let's be real. Having an emotional vampire in your life is like having a Wi-Fi stealing neighbor. You're trying to stream your life in HD, but their constant leeching turns everything into a slow, buffering mess. The solution? Cut them off from your network. I'll let you in on something personal. Recently, I realized something was draining my energy without me even noticing. I work with several of these emotional vampires. I'd start my day feeling good, but as soon as I walked into the workplace, my mood would plummet and my energy would evaporate. That was a turning point for me. Since then, I've been taking action to protect myself, learning to set boundaries and safeguard my peace of mind. I promise to keep you posted on my progress. Remember, emotional vampires can only drain you if you let them. Take control, set boundaries, and keep your peace intact. Because at the end of the day, you deserve to live a life that isn't constantly buffering, full of unnecessary drama and negativity. Stay selfish, stay sane, and most importantly, keep those vampires out. Cheers to your newly fortified emotional defenses. Until next time.